So, this one time I was driving to work. It was early in the morning, so I'm just going through the motions. I wasn't really thinking, hey, I'm probably going to tell this as a story one day, so I should make this part interesting. So I didn't, and it's not. Anyhow, I'm driving along and I come to a T intersection. Right across from me, the road turns into a field with some trees and shrubs. Now, laying at the edge of the road was a dead deer. As I went to turn, I remember thinking, aw, that's sad, the poor deer. You know, because I'm not a horrible person who revels in the wanton destruction of woodland creatures. Now, this would be where the story ends, but then as I was turning to drive away, the deer lifted its head. This was a somewhat unexpected and startling development, one which I had not consumed nearly enough coffee to find myself adequately prepared for. I managed to keep my car on the empty street, but only just barely. Slowly, the realization began to sink in that this wasn't just a mangled corpse lying on the side of the road. This was a sentient creature in distress. Suddenly, I wasn't arriving in the aftermath of whatever horrible tragedy had unfolded here. I was a first responder. That innocent creature required assistance, and as a good Samaritan, I was required to render aid. Somehow. Look, I've seen Old Yeller, okay? I know how this is supposed to go down. When an animal is injured beyond help, you have to do the humane thing and put them out of its misery. That's the accepted and, dare I say, expected course of action in these circumstances. Me being me, however, well, I had some concerns with this. I'm not a deerologist, okay? I had no way to determine how far gone this potentially injured deer really was. What if he was just out at a stag party last night and was sleeping it off? What if his deer buddies were playing an elaborate prank on him or something? Suddenly, my mercy killing would become a murder. Did I really want to live the rest of my life as a deer murderer? In case it wasn't incredibly obvious yet, I'm not a hunter by any means. As such, another problem immediately presented itself. Suppose I was somehow able to determine that, yes, this deer needs to be put down. Great. How exactly was I going to do that? Look, I wasn't exactly packing heat. Hell, even if I had been, I was still in the middle of a residential area. I'm not sure the neighbors would take too kindly to me firing a gun just beyond their front porch. Although, I guess it depends on the neighborhood? Anyway. So there I am, suddenly charged with a mission of mercy. There's no other cars around, so it's still just me and the deer. With no weapons of Deer-Struction at my disposal, I realized that I'd need to come up with some other way to end the deer's suffering. As far as I could see, I had two options. One, I could back up and try to rerun the deer over, this time to death. Or two, get out and, I don't know, maybe kick its head until it stopped trying to get up? Obviously, these were both terrible options. I mean, it seems like the last car that tried to run this deer over hadn't been able to finish the job. What made me think I'd have any better luck? In fact, I have pretty shoddy depth perception anyway, so with my luck, I'd miss the deer and slam into one of the trees instead. While that would have made for a better story, it isn't what happened. Just as I've resolved myself to getting out of the car, walking back, and possibly attempting to beat an injured deer to death with my fists, a third option magically presented itself to me. I could just keep driving. Look, I didn't ask for this, okay? Being forced to take up the mantle of an avatar of death is a lot to spring on a person first thing in the morning. So yeah, maybe I was a bad person for not putting an end to this innocent animal's suffering, but at least I wasn't the jerk who'd run it over the first time. They were the ones who should have had to start their day off by curb stomping a deer to death, okay? Not me. Whatever. The point is, I spent the rest of the day thinking I was a horrible monster for not trying to do something for the deer. My co-workers mostly confirmed this theory since apparently every one of them would have done something. I've had time to mull this over by now, and you know what? I'm glad I didn't try to mercy murder that deer. Because when I was driving home later that day, and I passed by the same turn, that deer was gone. Now, I can't be sure that he got back up and went to seek bloody vengeance on the driver who'd hit him, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this story and would like to see more of these cartoon thingies, like this video and leave me a comment below. You can also hit the subscribe button so you'll know when I post a new one. See you next time.